How you going, YouTubers? Can you hear me? It's Manic Magic here. I'm just on my tablet doing a live stream. I tried to do it on the computer, but like the title says, where did I go wrong? I'll have a look on my live chat here on my other phone, and I'll see. Just hang in there for a moment. I'm just going to drop this device down. It's all a learning thing. Anyone there? They can see my ceiling fan. I've got Manic Magic there. Trying to do another live stream, I think it is. Let's see how we go. No, that's the replay of the live stream. What am I going to do? Hey, I'll see what I do. One. Should be another live stream. Here we go. Live stream, 1 minute. Live stream, 1 minute. Oh, how you going? I'm getting some stop the feedback. Rightio. Well, we got some viewers in there now. Okay, we've got Colt 49 back again. How am I going? Can you type in the chat because I'm live streaming. One sec, I'll just turn this. What have I done? No. So that, what have I done? Now you can. Oh, this is crazy. Where can I change? I'm getting chat in here. I'm trying to do. Oh, this is a mess up. Mute. Now, thumbs up if you can hear me, thumbs down if you can't, and I'll type it in the chat as well. Oh no. What if we did that? Can you hear me, guys? Well, I can hear me on I Love My Blow Up Drone, so you should be able to hear me now. Is anyone on? So it looks like there's 5 in the chat. I don't know how many likes I've got. I can find that out. So we've got 6 likes, 7 likes now. Well, now it says 1 like, so what's going on? Alright, now. Got 5 in the chat. Anyone can hear me? Is the volume? This is on the tablet at the moment. I thought if I go to the tablet, communicate to someone, yes, we can hear you, good. Oh, that's Chopper. How you going, Chopper? Oh, this is my first time streaming by myself. I tried, I'll turn the volume down now. Rightio, there's no feedback. You have one hell of a squeal. That was because I had feedback on my I Love My Blow Up Drone channel, because I'm using that to see my chat. So okay, there you are. Right. It's good now. I'm on my tablet, so I thought I'd come on, and it's working on my tablet, but I tried it on my computer, and everything was going really rosy because I had the option of using 2 cameras. And I can peer down the camera and read chat, and I can peer up at my camera up there when I'm doing my artwork. It's on this channel, as you're aware, that I'm doing crafts as well as a lot of vlogging and droning stuff, but I mix it up, but my main focus is on my art and crafts on this channel. And my blow-up doll, see, I even stuffed up. I'm sorry, my blow-up drone channel. That's funny, even though I stuffed up. Blow Up Drone channel is going to be droning mainly, and the way I'm going to build my blow up drone for a promotion. So yeah, so I've tried to look at my settings for my volume on my computer, and when I tested it earlier before live streaming, the volume was working good. Whether it was on my headphones or whether it was on my, oh that's right, whether it was on my blue mic, because I have that plugged in as well, whether I had it on that or whether I had my headphones, on the test before going live it was working well. So I don't know what to achieve. I do know that I had some updates unfortunately while I was streaming. Maybe all of a sudden it stopped everything, I don't know, but I didn't have volume right from the start. So I'll run my chat on my tablet. Yeah, I've got chat on my tablet now too. Right, I'll just try again. Right, chat, live chat, all messages, right. Yep, now I don't have to worry about my mobile now. That's on my blow up drone channel. So that's all good. So that's sorted that out. Whoa. I've got that many cords here tangled. So I know a lot of people have tried to do their first test and it's been absolutely crazy, and I'm no orphan there. I've been the same. This is all good fun because this is all part of learning. So I did have chat on there. Yeah. But all right now. Okay. It says here, I see you. So you can have chat as you go. All right, run chat on my tablet. Done that. Thumbs up. Well, now it's all better. Hear you loud. He's English, is that right? No, I'm Australian, but I do speak English language and German and Italian. but English is my main language. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Yes, Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. That's right. I was watching I Spike this morning, and that was a really good live stream. Really enjoyed it. Oh, Chopper, do you know Ken Heron? Because Ken Heron, he's one of my superstars because he's entertaining. Well, he's coming to Australia this year, and he's going to go on I Spike's trike with him and Ready Steady Drone. Kelly from Ready Steady Drone, and they're going to do some promotional drone tourism things. So look up Ken Heron, support him. He is entertaining. Remember the old days of Saturday night, what's his name, Hey Hey Saturday? Well, he does a similar Hey Hey It's Saturday program on Thursday nights, which is an American time, and he does Thursday night Central at 7:30. And he's coming to Australia, and guess he does like a Hey Hey It's Saturday sort of program, but involving drones. He's very entertaining. Check him out. He's a superstar. He's got about 86k subscribers, and he's a very generous fellow, and just really, he's a real comedian. He's coming to Australia, so yeah, so I'll be hoping to go over and see him. That'll be fun. Yeah, he's famous. He's to a lot of droners. I'm surprised you haven't heard of him, but he's probably still little compared to a lot of people in the industry of YouTube. I mean, I suppose you've got to be 100,000k subscribers before you can get big. What's that? You got a couple of free trikes today. Wow. Did I read that right? A couple of 3 bikes today. All right, so you can use it. You're going to chop them up and make them into trikes, are you? See, I can't see with my glasses on or off. So it's a pity I couldn't get the computer running, but I'll get that going again. But anyway, this is my first live stream. Just to ask, when you make your trikes, are they sort of like a hobby of yours? And did I get you right that you make like little trikes for cats and stuff like that? Because that sounds very unusual, but very interesting. I haven't checked out a lot of your videos, but I do try to make it to a few of your live streams because there's so many people to try to get around to. And but I find your live streams very entertaining, and I do want to catch up with their videos because I try to catch up with people's videos as I go and go through one by one and so on until I catch up with everyone. How many have we got with the chat? We've got 6 likes, 3 people in here. It's 2:45 in the afternoon. The weather's 38 now. It was beautiful down by the lake. After I got off your live, I was on your live stream at the time. I was down the lake. And right till 12 o'clock we had perfect weather. It was really chilled. Not expecting to get to 38 so quickly once it got hit noon. Yep, so I had my breakfast and had they ran out of ice cream, to get a thick shake, so I just got a nice coffee instead with one dob of ice cream. That's all they had left. I asked it because I'm friends with the owner, so I asked him to serve all the other customers first, and then I missed out. He was so sorry, but they had that many customers asking for thick shakes. I couldn't believe that he ran out, and he was too busy. He couldn't go to the shops to get any more ice cream because he had to serve customers while his wife was cooking. Yeah, so just check chat. What do you got to say? Okay, yeah, all right, yeah. I'm just checking chat again because this seemed to fade out. I might. Yes, I do. I make cat rods for my cat. That is fantastic. I thought that was the case, and I was telling my sister that over in Victoria, and she's about 60 something years of age, and she thought it was very fascinating, and she couldn't believe her ears, and she thought, I'll have to look this guy up, because the reason why I showed her your channel was that you look, like I said, you're a splitting image. You're a twin to my best mate, and she knows my best mate. In fact, he's like family to us. And we got the poet maker here. Great. Yeah, we've got quite a few people. I am so wrapped. I've got like I was saying to you guys, I've got over 700 subscribers, right? And you know how they're all saying, you know, sub for subs and all the rest of it. But I'm a big believer that if you've got good content on your channel, even if you're picking up subs before you've got content, I got the understanding with the old saying, if you build, they will come. And you never know, you might drop off some subscribers that might not ever come back to your channel, but that doesn't matter. The reason is if you've got numbers there, they'll think, oh, hang on, this guy must be getting a good channel up, because there's a lot of people still hanging in there. And I'm on a big theory, because I'm very good at art and I have a lot of products, and that will speak for itself. So I'm going to keep a lot of my subscribers, and as the ones drop off that YouTube believe are only sub for sub, I'll make up all the numbers that will come back on the ones that are genuine subscribers. I'm not talking about bought subscribers. I'm talking about people going in like Pierce Studios, Cav 7, any of the bigger channels, just to help each other out. That will all build. And now that I've got 18 videos now in 4 days on my channel, this sort of work is going to, can you check that out? That's just an example of the artwork that I do on wallets, knife sheaths, and all sorts of things. Who have I got? Can you see that? Now, is that enticing or what? I make this leather gear. So put thumbs up to all the people who are watching if you like this sort of stuff. I expect to see some thumbs up, because how can you not? Can you hear me in the volume? That is beautiful. Good. What other comments? I'm not half proud, am I? I've got a sense of humour too. Now, for those godly people out there, and even if you're not, can you appreciate good art? These are all pictures I've drawn myself and carved into art, into leather. And I stain the leather and I paint the leather. Imagine these samples on big items and artwork, and then I make practical items as well. Then, here's another one. I make hobbit purses. This is the flat raw product, not finished. It's only the surface of it, and I haven't finished the engraving around the outside or the stamping. But on the inside, I've showed the example where I've stained it the brown, right? But where it's all like granulated, I actually paint black polish. And then I put a seal over the top after I've polished it and everything. But before I do this, I have to have this as a raw product. And what I do is I make a mould. And I make a dish-shaped mould, and I press it into like a bowl shape. But after I've done that bowl shape, I put another piece of leather over the back of it. So then it's like a dome. And then I turn it into a hobbit purse, hence the Celtic designs. But once I've got where the Celtic part is around the outside, that will be flat. And then I put embellishments around it, like medieval embellishments, like buttons, and they will be like a medieval design. The buttons and studs will be, and that will finish off they're called pillbox purses for males, for hobbit purses for Comic-Con. You know, the freaks out there that dress up and... Whoops! I need a holder. I'm only doing this roughly just to get a bit of a test anyway. But interesting, isn't it? I'm not very prepared at the moment because of this. But then... This is just a bit of fun anyway. And then I carve all these wallets, these Bible or journal or cookbook covers, all sorts of things. This is got vines on it, and I've hand carved them and stamped it, and that's my own design, and that's the sort of drawings I do, freehand. So do we like? Yeah, and that's only just half the stuff, eh? But yeah, I'll certainly look up your stuff there for sure. Yes, I could do a logo for you in leather. I'll give it to you as a gift because I'll do anything to promote your channels, because it's like the old saying that Elvis said, I scratch your back, I'll scratch mine. Sorry, that's not the right quote. I think he said on one of these Hawaiian movies, if you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. I love giving quotes of Elvis because Elvis is a top bloke. Why couldn't he have just got fat and be happy? Oh, poor guy. I do stuff here on YouTube that no one's ever seen before because it's all my own inventions. Like the blow-up drone that I'm making. It'll be half water, so it'll float on water as well as it'll fly, all by an inner tube. It won't be an inner tube, it'll be actually a plastic toy, like a swimming pool toy. But I want to try and get something that's drone-like. The best thing, whether it's a bird or a butterfly or something that I can mimic into a drone and have that flying and use it as my promotional tool and promote my channel. So that will be a lot of fun. That will be on my drone channel, but when I do all the artwork and everything, that will be part of my art channel. So I've got a lot of things, substance for that channel that I've got. I've got some fluid. There's a lot of fluid art or art pouring was the go in the last year. But I have techniques that no one's seen when it comes to acrylic. Excuse me, a bit too much Coke, I think. Some acrylic arts that I do. So for those artists out there, look out for that, because it'll be. See, how I learnt was I went to channels that were only up and coming, and I learnt more from their mistakes and just hung in there and watched all their bad mistakes, and now they're absolutely blooming because their channels are growing. They've learnt by their mistakes, but what I've looked at is their negatives. I've turned them into positives and seeing how I could solve some of their problems and some of their techniques, and used it to my advantage. And that will be a lot of fun, because I'll be doing marine animals and that from acrylic pours where they look like real turtles, real lizards, real leopards, just from doing acrylic pouring, where they do a marble effect. And I've used different oils that no one else uses to make it to marble. But what it does is marbles effect like leopard skin by using the same tones as leopard skin. Plus I use, and what I do is I mask the area around that looks like a leopard, and then use the acrylic poured. And what you do is once you've masked it, you tear the mask off after it's dry, and then what you then do is then the second medium is you actually do the wildlife environment around them, like the grasses and the trees and etc., and you use. So how many, put thumbs up if I've still got people watching. All right, you've got to go, Chopper. No worries, mate. Anyone else watching? See, this is getting addictive. Once I'm on here, I can't get off. Yeah, that's cool. Definitely like, yeah. I wonder if I can keep chat up. Hide the chat. No, I don't want to hide. Live chat, or make it all visible. Yeah, I want to make all the chat visible completely. Ah, good. Oh, it's still... Yes, his music is gold. I only just caught that, chat. Oh, this is going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to do some more live streams. And you should check out, Joseph, you should check out some of my paintings, even if you're not an artist. Just appreciate some of my art, or anyone's art, just for the sake of it being very nice. I'll give you a couple of examples. Like, this is just a card. So that's just a cloud. That was just a study. And I turned it... any of my artwork that I'm making. So yeah, any of the paintings that I just do for study. That's just a hand stencil that I make. And I do that out of Sharpies. That's like Sharpie art. I do a lot of Sharpie art. This is watercolours that I do. These are just made for cards. They're not meant to be photographic, but I can do flowers that are photographic. How would I put it? That are photographic style, where they look accurate. But as I said, these are good enough for cards. Some more of my hand-painted flowers. And this is all in my head. I do it freehand. I don't draw it. I just put paint to paper, and that's done with watercolours. And these are just cards. These are my rejects. Believe it or not, just my rejects. They're not bad rejects, are they? Here's a study on one of my rejects. That's a paper flower. It's a paper flower that's been pressed in a book, and that's how it's been painted. Hence it's flat. Here's another one of my rejects. Here's one done with inks. Just another reject. Here's a watercolour that I haven't finished. I've got to put horses in it. Running out of space here. Here's a study on just doing acrylics on a night drawing. Watercolour, watercolours. Just a couple of flowers. How many people have I got watching? Looks like I've still got a few watching. Let's see. Whoops. Just some flowers. I just do them for studies. And this particular one was where I get actual cellophane and cut the shapes out of a flower, and then I actually inject some of the paint around the subject and let it spread, and it turns into flowers. It's very hard to explain, but I'll do this technique that I designed myself to be able to achieve that. It's like paint blowing as well. I mix up a lot of different styles to create, and this is just these are just blobs of paint that I've turned into flowers to prove that anyone can paint. I turn my rejects into works of art. This is done with calligraphy ink. Calligraphy ink, it's just a style of art. It's not meant to be realistic and look like photographic. It's just art. Some more ink. A lot of these are not finished yet. They're only studies. Where's that one? This is with paint. This is done with by blowing. You put the pigment of paint there wet, so it's really runny, and you use a hose or a straw, and you just blow it to turn it into like flower-looking floral. And that's just how it is. What you do is you paint your background first, so hence this one's purple, and then you put some pigments down and you just blow it. Yeah, this was just a study. Just trying out my acrylic paints. And all I did was I used glosses on all my paintings to preserve it. So, yeah, check them apples out. Yeah, what's up, Joseph? You said me. Yeah. So just put in the chat, do you, if you want to see more, because I've got more, but I don't want to bore you, especially when you're dronies. I mean, you're not all dronies out there, but most of you are that's watching me, because basically that's what I've designed my channel around, is a bit of drone work. But that was just to because I love drones, and I was doing that I still do it as a hobby. I'm still creating that hobby for my YouTube channel, but what I really do is what I've been trained for, is an artist. Because I do sculpting on my stonemason head, a stonemason that do headstones as well, and that's been a lot of fun over my years. Thanks, Joseph. I really appreciate it. And I teach. I do teaching. I don't do it as a living anymore because I had a very nasty sickness, um, which I've been recovering in the last 2 years. And I was 2 years in I was actually a quadriplegic for some time, and I've had to learn how to walk and talk and eat and everything all over again. And I had to be on life support for at least 6 months of my life, and learning how to just live and walk. And so now I'm slowly recovering. I'm getting back into my art. So I'm really enjoying that. For 2 years I couldn't do any art because I was mentally ill. I was very painfully ill. I couldn't walk. I've got no feeling in my legs still, but I still walk. So that's still a challenge. So for me to even walk along like in my videos and walk on those undulated surfaces down by the lake that I'm at, I wouldn't have been able to do before. I couldn't even walk on a flat surface, let alone undulated ground. So I've come a long way. I don't want anyone to feel sorry for me, but that's been my life story. Yeah, so it's been a journey, but I look at it positive. And everything I do, it's positive. It takes me a while sometimes, but I get there. Like, I love Mr. Crowley's show. I'd love to be part of his content with his live streams from time to time, where we could probably do a bit of comedy humour, because I'm quite the comic myself, and I don't want to steal his show, but I think we could do something together occasionally, and I think it'd be entertaining, because I've got the same sense of humour as Crowley, because I was a firefighter for 32 years, proudly, and we've come across a lot of shit, and so therefore our humour to try to get away from our pain, like, because we've seen bad stuff, like I've probably had over 100 people die in my arms in my life, literally, and have to deal with it, with road crash rescue and burn victims. And to deal with that stuff, we have very sick humour. Some people can't really handle that, my sick humour, even though I'm a Christian and whatnot, and some people don't know really how to take me, but that's life. I think the person that's got the problem is the person I'm looking at when it comes to that. So, yeah. What's that? Gotta love joy, laughter, yes. I'll have myself organised next time. I did have myself organised, but my computer wasn't working. The volume wasn't, so as you know. So I've just resorted to the laptop, but that really hasn't solved anything, because my goal was to get my computers up and running. But I am buying a new computer, which will have 16 gigabytes of RAM. I will have I'll have a i7 processor. I will have a 1070 memory card in it, and I will have it VR ready. And I've got a bunch of other things that will be, so it will absolutely tackle any of the editing I need to do, and it will tackle it. And the other thing is I have 32 download speed of internet, and I have 19 upload speed of internet, so I'll be able to handle with my internet speed anything it throws at me. So I'm very fortunate, and I'll be able to afford the computer in a couple of months' time, which I'll be able to budget, because everything I've got to do, because I'm on a pension and I have to set a budget. But at the moment I'm just finishing off my gimbal camera. I've got to purchase my light and my cat's fur mic, or I call it the dead cat. And once I've got that for my, no use talking about it. I'll show you. So yeah, this is my gimbal cam, and And this, as you see on my videos, this does wicked movies, wicked as. And that's my gimbal can I use. So that I'll just turn it around. That bracket there holds the mic and holds the light on. So when I start doing streaming at night, I'll be able to see the stars and the moon and everything. What happens is it all depends on your shutter speed. The more light you let in, the more it will actually capture light at night. So that's why I can film at night on RAW. And it's from my first test without the lighting equipment, it's absolutely been a ripper. So that's the other thing I do. So, did I show you the leather pocket knife holder? This is one that I've had for about 10 years that I've made. And that basically, I'll try to do it one-handed so you can see. This has been moulded with a jig that I make. I hand make my jigs. So what it does is it presses out the shape of the pocket holder, the knife holder. And what I do is I do the same technique as when I make my knife sheaths. So the hunters and fishermen, I make knife sheaths and pocket knife holders. I'm going to make a knife sheath. I'm getting the measurements off of Passion Fishing and Hunting, and because he's helped my YouTube channel grow, like I've got so many wicked subscribers from his channel. Over 2 days on my blow up drone channel, I got 85 subscribers from his channel in 2 days. So I am making a knife sheath or a knife cover with designs and patterns and whatever he wants, and I'll be sending that to him in Canada as a gift, because that's what I want to do, because I'm here in Australia and I can't really afford at this stage to buy stuff as giveaways. I'm not in that position because I'm limited funded, but I can make things. It's not going to cost me anything because I already have the gear here. So if I can make stuff and then I just pay a little bit of shipping, I can afford that. So I'll do that to my YouTube friends that help me out. But at the moment, I can't actually purchase things for giveaways at the moment. But it will come. I'm already in the process of doing some wicked games and that for giving giveaways. I've got lots of ideas. So you'll enjoy all the ideas I've got, because I have a marketing background. I do sales. I won the Sales of the Year for Shell Roadhouse, where the area that I lived in, and I competed from all of Australia in summertime, and my boss said I couldn't do it because I was new and I wasn't a woman and I didn't have big tits. He was rude, but I proved him wrong, because he says women with big tits sell. And I ended up winning Salesman of the Year. I even created a canister for displaying Wrigley's Chewy Gum. Their rep came and took photos because I wasn't selling enough chewy gum, so I made a rack for it to sell the chewy gums. I ended up selling more Wrigley's chewing gums than any other salesperson in all of Australia, all because of my design. I used to spray the shop regularly with perfume. I used to have music on that was entertaining, because when a person wants to buy something, they have to have all their senses switched on. Their smell, what you have to say, how you say it. You have to have your shop clean, first impressions count, and your approach counts. And I won a flat screen TV and a DVD player at the time, and I won a $500 voucher to any of the stores relating to Shell products. And that's what I was able to achieve in my first month being there. So I know how to sell. It's just a talent I have, and I love it. I treat people as humans. Any old people, any blind people, any people with disabilities. I speak to them like any of my friends, and I do it unconditionally. And that's how I approach the world. Like I had this blind guy come in. I don't know how he crossed the main highway. Man, they've got trucks and semis going up and down that highway, and I don't know how he gets across there with his white cane. He came in, the first visit, because there's a bit of buffering there. I said, and my approach to him was, "How you going, buddy?" Without being patronising. And I said, what you up to? What would you like, mate? And I talked to him like a person I'd been talking to at the pub. And he says, "Oh, I'd like a Coke and something else." I said, "You just wait there, buddy. I'll go and get it for you. You just ask me." I ran from behind the counter and got what he wanted. And you know what I said to him? I said, "It's not because you're not able to do it, buddy. I'm just said, it's just in case the boss had played tricks on you and shifted all the Cokes around and you couldn't find them." And well, he laughed. He cacked himself laughing because I spoke to him like a human. It's making me a bit emotional, but that's how I treat people. And I'm not here to be like a Cav 7, even though he's a beautiful person, but I'm very similar to him. But yeah, I treat people how they should be treated. And this is supposed to be only a test. And but I'm glad you guys are sticking in there, because this has been a blast. And it's my first live stream. I've been through hell and back, but I'm still keeping my chin up. Like I have a saying to all my mates. It's an old-fashioned saying. Keep your pecker up. And a lot of people think, "Gee, you're being a bit rude," thinking you're being rude. And it's not. It's an old saying meaning if you're a chicken or a rooster, you've got to keep your pecker up, meaning your beak. But I usually like giving it a bit of a twist. So yeah, I turn around and try to be happy. But I was meeting a lot of good friends out there, and YouTube so far, touch wood, it's been 100% positive for me. I've had no dislikes. I've had no trolls, but I'm sure I'm going to get them. And when I do, I'll send you guys out there to attack them. And I'll bring my own shovel. So who have we got out there? I'll just check the chat. How you going? Oh, radios. Simply Deep. Yep, Joseph's still hanging in there. Thank you, Joseph. You're a top fellow. I mean, we've been on live streams of Mr. Crowley's together, so I know you personally on Hangouts, so that's great. And if I missed any other chat, I'm really not coping with the chat on the tablet here at the moment. So what I have to do is bear with me. I have to... Oh, come on. You look on them on my mobile phone because it's just not working for me. Ah, there we go. And chat. Come on, chat. That's why. Yeah, let's try again. Oh, live chat. Ah, here we are. Now it's working. I'll have to just do it that way, but without taking. See, when I got my computer set up where I got 2 cameras, where I'll be able to look at the chat and talk to you, and look up my camera there while I'm doing my artwork or whatever I want to achieve. And so I am getting there. It's just taken me a while. So what's your content about? Oh, rightio. My content on this channel is about mostly art. For those who are late coming in, I do leather working, and that's all my own designs and my paintings, all on leather, done with boot polish. And I stamp them and then paint it with boot polish. That's a religious theme, but I do other themes. I do, this is done with just black and brown boot polish and carving it. That's just some of the samples of my leather work. And I'll be doing tutorials on it, so you'll be able to get to see this live on my live streams, because I'll do live stream artwork and I'll do time lapses and I'll do videos. This is actually a Bible cover that I'm making for someone, to a dear friend of mine that lives next to my sister's house, and she's been so good for my sister that's in ill health. So as a gift, I'm making this for her. And normally if I was to make this would be quite a bit of money, because there's a lot of work involved in this, because I've still got to lace all the edges, and that's going to be quite a few hours. And I lace it with leather. That will cover your Bible or a journal. And what I do is I ask for the measurements and I make them to design. And that's just with grapevines, and it's all been freehand drawn, not stenciled. But that doesn't stop you. For those people who want to learn, you can use just parchment paper or tracing paper, and you can trace your own designs, and then use your leather gear. I make hobbit purses. This has still got to be moulded like you would if I was moulding the pocket knife cover, but in a round dish form. And you're making pillbox purses. Plus, there's leather that you can't stamp. You've got to carve it. So I carve different flowers, and that's not an unfinished wallet cover, or not a cover so much, but I sew all the wallet together, so there'll be extra sleeves or leaflets to go into this wallet, but that's the outside, and I trim it down to it's all square. This is just, you've got to keep it to that shape, because if you cut it to the correct shape first, and once you beat it, it will stretch it. So what you do is you beat it first, carve it first, and allow it to settle, and then you cut the edges later, so you don't have a distorted wallet. So yeah, I do all that. I do acrylic arts, I do sculpting, watercolors, wax carving, tattooing in apples, and then sealing them in wax. So I make grannies. They look like old people. And I have really bizarre art that no one else has ever seen. I do a flying channel, which is I love my blow up drone. So check my second channel out, which is vlogging, and I do droning stuff. And I will be capturing where I'm doing a build on my first blow up drone, which is actually a blow up drone made from plastic, fill it with air, and then use a drone. And I'm learning how to build drones. So once I build the drones, then I will attach it to my blow up drone, so it actually floats on a lake, and then it will then take off and be tethered to a buoy, so it can be used as a promotional toy. So if it was to actually if the motors was to crash or burn out, if it lands in the lake, it won't burn the motors out, because it'll land on the cushion, and it won't hit any people around it because it's tethered. It's for a marketing project that I'm making, one for my channel as well as the local cafe shop that I'm promoting in my town. So people will enjoy that. So I'll do a step-by-step build of that, but I have to learn how to build a drone by hand first, which I've bought one, and hopefully I can adopt that to my project. And I think it'll be the first one that YouTube's seen. So hopefully I'll get a lot of likes for that, and it'll just help my channel grow even if I don't get a lot of likes. I'm looking at it as my glass half full or half empty. So if my channel grows and I get enough money to help me with my materials, because I'm enjoying my journey as I go, that's all I ask for, and be able to connect with these people. If I go viral, I'll allow that to happen, and I'll wear that with open arms. But all I ask for is just to supplement my pension with my dog, because my dog, she's very important to me. She's my lifeline, and that's all I hope for. So, so what do you guys think about that? I'll just I'm only very new to this. This has only just supposed to be a test, but I've got 10 people here, and I'm not going to miss out on 10 people on a unorganised live stream, because I tried to use my computer, but the volume wasn't working. I've got 2 cameras set up, so I've had to resort to my laptop and then trying to read comments on my phone. So I reckon it's good enough to sit back and watch. I appreciate it, thanks. And you're very much, very good, very good. There must be a lot of lag in, I've got 3 people in the chat, it says now. But I've got 11 likes. So that's all right. I have been told I look a bit like Robin Williams. That's correct. And I'm as funny as Robin Williams. Believe me, give me a chance. When I'm in my funny, that's exactly identical to me. Different mother, that's all. But he's like a brother. And he looks identical to me. And we used to have, when we were kids, we used to have live stand-ups comedy that we used to present to our family. And we had a very big family, which is another story. My mother raised 10 children of her own, had 5 stepchildren, and had many, many other foster children. So when told, she's had over 20 odd children in her care. Anyway, so we had a lot of entertaining to do. And we used to have a bit of an audience. And we could entertain a bit of a crowd. And I entertained my minister with some of the humour, and he absolutely thinks it's great, because I try to clean up my humour for him, because he's godly, even though he'd still laugh even if it wasn't. That's the sort of guy he is. But I have a very, very rude, witty sense of humour, but I try to keep my content funny, but without going to that level, because I want it kid friendly here. I want it Christian friendly. That's probably not a real good term, because it goes further than being a Christian. It goes further. It goes to people that love to just live a clean life. You don't have to be Christian to have that feeling or understanding or that appreciation. But yeah, my channel here is Manic Magic. It's basically art, crafts. I do workshops during the week, so I'll be doing live streaming of workshops where I teach art classes, and it's at a very basic level, but I use words that are very plain, and so they can pick up on it. I use a lot of slang, and I use words that don't exist, but they're words, whether they're today or tomorrow, they're my words at the time. And sometimes I use the phrase, If they're not words, well, they may as well be one because they're my words. And that's how I roll. So, yes, we've got four in the chat. So we've got four in the house. Who have we got new here? I'm having a bit of trouble with this because I had to go to my I've had to go to my tablet where I was trying to use my laptop and it crashed. So I'll have to sort that out. I didn't have volume. So I just thought I'd come in and have a bit of a test, and it's ran over to quite some time. I've now been on for an hour, and this is only supposed to be in a live stream test because lots of people have been asking me questions. I'll get there. I'll get professional. In fact, it's going to get quite professional. I'll do a shout out to Interactive DNA. He is supplying me free of charge, like he is to all his other YouTube brothers and sisters. He is supplying me software that I can do my live streams and videos with virtual reality. So it'll be like 3D projects, as well as he's allowing me to use programs that do all my editing for free to all his YouTube friends. He will be doing it for anyone that clicks on his channel. It's available for anyone on YouTube. The reason why he is doing it, he told me, is he's wants to retire, and he's got a lot of knowledge. He's won a lot of awards. He's created a lot of stuff like what we take for granted now in the 80s, and a lot of it's his own inventions, and he wants to pass it on to people that will listen, because he can't take it with him when he dies. And if that's not a charitable soul, he gives a lot of charity to donations to charities. He's been giving stuff away to friends, like he gave away a camcorder, a webcam that's worth over $200. He's given that to the Drone Hub, the Canadian Drone Hub. He's even supplying all their software to get Roger's computer up and going. So he is a great person. So he's helping me out, and I look forward to that. So once I get my computer up and running, which will be huge for editing, as well as so I can do my drone sim off of it. So I'll do some live streaming of like you do with video games, but I'll do it with my sim when I can't fly. I'll sim it while I'm inside, and I think that will be a bit of a hoot too. So I should be able to get a few followers there, as well as some watch time. So with the amount of, I'll have to start cutting my time up between my art channel and my drone channel, because I've got so many ideas for both. It's not funny. What else? Something saying. Oh, that's very nice of you. He reckons I'm a keeper. Oh, cool. So how many we got, chat? Still got 3. Put thumbs up, whoever's in the chat. Who have we got in the chat? Let's put thumbs up for whoever's in the chat. Come on. I'm going the wrong way on this device. Thumbs up. Oh, we've got Joseph still there. He's hanging in. And who else we got? I love my drone. That's me. So that's the other person. So we only just got Joseph hanging in there. Oh my God, that is so funny. I'm proud of you, bro. Oh, that is a laugh. So it might be me, you, and I love my blow-up drone. What a split personality I've got here. So what do you want to chat about, Joseph? Otherwise I can switch off and let you do your own thing if there's only one other person with us now. Because please yourself, do thumbs up if you want to keep chatting, or thumbs down if you want me to go away. Because I won't be offended. Oh, thumbs up from Colt as well. Well done. Oh, so we got 2 people listening. Just type in what you want to hear. I have a degree in ancient history. I have a degree in art, but it was a total waste of time because I learnt more in my high school time and my real life time. But at least it gave me the basics was given to me in high school, more explained better than it did in college. And I have found a lot of artists, professional artists, claim the same thing, that they got nothing out of their degrees. They wanted, the lecturers there wanted to teach you their way and only teach you what they wanted to, and they were caught up in the Middle Ages. They were still studying art like all the famous artists were still in the Dark Ages, which is good, but you still got to have content for our today, for the 20th century. They need to get a life, the colleges. Like I had this art teacher who used to go skiing and surfing, and she was a really cool surfing chick she was. And what I recognised of her and remember is, and I remember her name too, and her name was Mrs. Zilm, and she had a shark attack scar on her calf of her leg, because she used to wear shorts quite a bit. She was, used to hang out like she was still at the surf while she was teaching art. And yeah, she had this big dog shark bite on her leg where she'd been surfing, and I thought that was pretty cool, because I loved angry scars. I thought angry scars were a real trophy. Like I was into knives and stuff, and so every time ever I got a knife cut on my fingers and that when I was playing with my knives, I would let them bleed for a while, this is me as a kid, and allow the scar to not heal properly, because I thought it was a badge of honour. That's how queer I won't use the queer word. That's how crazy I was. And I used to wear it as a badge of honour. Yes, just do, yeah. But yeah, she was a really cool chick, but I learnt so much off of her. I used to have some Aboriginal friends, which is Indigenous people here in Australia, that were my close friends, and I used to study a lot of Aboriginal art, and I used to do techniques that they never ever did, but resemble their artwork. But evidently to do artwork like that, you've got to actually get permission now from the tribal elders. So it's because otherwise it's deemed as being a bit racist. But I just do art as it is now. Whichever method I use, I just run with it. But I'm sure I've got plenty of Aboriginal friends that would still give me permission if I was to go down that avenue and do, say, a tutorial on doing creative Indigenous paintings. Even if I was able to teach a thing or two to my Indigenous friends, and if they wanted to go back and learn it, I would not be too shy to do that. And I'm sure some of my Indigenous friends that I'm close to would love to learn too. So that's probably, I've just had a brainwave, that would be a bad idea, because some of their art are so gorgeous. It's so unique. If you ever get the opportunity to see an Indigenous art of Australia, look it up on YouTube or somewhere. It is brilliant stuff. Yeah. What do you want to know, guys? So, Colt 45. What channel's yours about? I haven't been able to really catch you because I think I got your channel off of. Haven't had a chance to catch up with you yet. I think yours was off Pusa, or it may have been off the fishing channel. Could have been off of a number of channels that I was invited into. So I'd like to really get to know you. This is a platform now. The people that watch my live streams and that, I want to really form a communication and a connection with. And this is how we will learn as a family and how we'll learn how to grow. Is now that I'm basing a channel on a format that I can then start sorting out and weeding out the ones that are not really following, and create my channel around that, and follow the ones that deserve following. I believe it was on Green Day Wacky. Oh, very good, because I do spend a lot of time on Green Day Wacky, and I hope Green Day Wacky, Dave that is, takes this as a compliment, because I do a lot of parodies. I used to have a bit of a singing voice before my stroke, and this is going to be a compliment to him. I wish to be as bad singer as he is. When you do parodies, the worse singer you are, the better hits you get, because that's what makes it humorous. And I don't mean that as an insult. He is an entertainer for parodies and stuff like that, where Cav 7, he is a true singer, even though he is probably not at the highest level that some of the others are, because they're all different levels. But he can hold a tune. He says he can't, but he can. He's a good chap. He can hold a tune. But Green Day Wacky, he's a trier, but he's entertaining. I hope he takes that as a compliment, because I really mean it as a compliment, nothing else. So I enjoy his program, not just to get supporters. I actually get entertained. I do like his parodies. Some of them I don't have to like everything, but at least I'm willing to sit in there and find what I do like. I've never given anyone a dislike, because there is some channels I just won't go to though, because how would I put it, they hang out their dirty washing on live streams, and they treat women disrespectfully, and they're the ones I just switch off on. I don't have to leave a comment. I just walk away slowly cringing. So that's all I do. I won't mention anyone's names, but they're not channels for me. But I just avoid them once I've witnessed what I've seen, and that's how I roll. Okay, what's this? A little about me. I'm a full-time dad. I was in the military. Yep, I've got a lot of military friends. A lot of the war games that I used to play, live streaming, I had a lot of military friends, and we used to pick up a lot of conversations, and yeah, it used to be very good. My brother was in the army. He was a military man too. So that's where I see. My brother was 20 years older than me, and I was only a little tacker. I think bad things about guns, because guns don't kill, it's people behind them. I love guns and knives. People think it's weird, but I've got mates now locally. When I told them that I was into guns, now they're friends of mine on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, and all we do is send messages of gun-related channels, and we talk guns, and he doesn't have anyone else to talk about guns, so it's good for him. And my best friend is into guns. He's got trophies. He's had Queen trophies of rifle shooting, and we're talking about target shooting. He can. He's a marksman. He is qualified to be, he was in the military, he was qualified to be a sniper, and he can, I'm not sure of the yardage, but he can hit a plumb off the top of a post from how many feet away, I'm not quite sure, because I've never been involved in the target side of it, but I treat guns as pieces of furniture, or I do go hunting, but I'm not a big hunter because my dogs don't even like rabbit, because we've had pet rabbits, so I'm a sort of an odd hunter where I don't like to really kill a lot of things, but I just love guns for because I think they're a piece of art. They're like a piece of fine furniture. That's how I look at guns. So I look at it a bit different to a lot of people. And who else have we got in here? We've still got Joseph. There's someone else probably lurking. That's okay. That's good. So what sort of gun did you have, Joseph? Because I'm into different guns. Just for, not that I've used the latest model guns and all the guns that they used recently, but I'm up with what they had in the Vietnam War, and the Americans they had pretty good guns. Yes. At least they didn't have the Chinese and the Russian guns. At least they had some decent guns. Where poor Aussies in World War One and almost following into World War Two, we had a lot of old stuff. And if we had better guns, we would have probably a lot of people would have survived a lot better. Yeah, war. I don't like to get into war too much because there's a lot of people. I'll talk about military, but war is a touchy subject to a lot of people. See, I'm a supporter of. I have 3 different mottos, which I feel tie together. And one is, as a religious thing, people have gone to war for religion, which I can't really swallow that just for the sake of religion, even though I'm religious myself, which we won't go further than that. I feel one needs to prepare for war to protect our country. If you don't prepare for war, how can you protect your country? Secondly, I don't think we need to go to war just because the government tells we have to. So I'm really mixed feeling. If I had to go to war, I would. Not that I can, but I would have. But even though I think the government should have been charged for war crimes in Vietnam, for example, because my belief is they exaggerated the reports of how many Vietnam people were perished just to stack up the numbers to motivate the Americans and the Allies to keep fighting. And I think that is no different to murdering people. When you fabricate the numbers just to keep them there when they're against their will, I think it's wrong. You need to be realistic. If you're losing, you should get out of there. Unfortunately, the countries need to sort themselves out. So that's why it's a touchy subject, because I'm really mixed feelings in all my way of thinking. But if I had to go to war, if I had to train to go to war or train for the military, I would, because they do amazing thing for our countries and we need them. And plus it would be disrespectful to my grandfather and my brother. So therefore to the veterans, well done. I'm a little bit sorry, I get a bit emotional about all that because my soul is unconditional and I mean what I say. Yeah, so hats off to them. And what you've got to say, I see so hence you're a Marlboro, because I used to smoke Marlboro cigarettes when I was in my 20s, and they're one of the strongest cigarettes that I used to smoke, and I ended up whittling my way down to lower brands or lower because of the strength. But yeah, I used to smoke the strongest brand when I was in my 20s, a Marlboro. But yeah, tobaccos and that. I gave up smoking cold turkey on my 40th birthday. I changed my job. I changed my job on my 40th birthday. I stopped smoking on my 40th birthday, and I stopped drinking on my 40th birthday, and I stopped gambling on my 40th birthday. The reason why I did all those things, because I was made redundant because there was no longer a position for me. They were going to make me redundant Christmas time, but they couldn't let me go because I was too good at my job. But once the job was no longer, because the job went to another company, they made me redundant on my birthday, which they didn't plan. It just happened that way. And so I couldn't afford to smoke cigarettes, plus it was against my health, as well as I couldn't afford to drink anymore, and I was an alcoholic, and I went cold turkey there, and I didn't gamble because I couldn't afford to, because I didn't think there was two reasons. One, I couldn't afford to, and I didn't think the government's money should be put down the drain, and that's my personal beliefs. So do you grow your own tobacco, or you use other tobaccos, or I'll have to check your channel out. Not that I'm a smoker anymore, but I'm not against anyone that does. Some of my best friends are still smokers, and I used to enjoy it when I did. But like I said, 40 years of age, I stopped everything, and I still was in a coma and had a stroke 2 years ago or more, just a bit over. So it didn't help me. Right, you roll your own. Yeah, my sister and my mum and that, they used to get tobacco that was illegal from Queensland in the state of Australia there and grow their own. They used to be at it because it's very expensive to smoke cigarettes here in Australia. Very expensive. I hear conversations on YouTube all the time where the UK friends and that get cigarettes so cheap, like only a few dollars a packet, where we pay $40 a packet. $40 for a regular packet of cigarettes. They sell them here in Australia because that's a big percentage of that is tax, because they believe that, and that goes on health, and that's why we've got a free health system, because they feel that diabetes, cigarettes and things like that put a big toll on our health system, and so they're going to tax unhealthy foods and sugar products and things that are not luxury items, so they can fund our health system. That's why we've got such a good health system. And I think they do similar in Canada. America's sort of got to rethink their health system, I believe, but that's another story. But then again, I'm not against any politics. It's long, because if it gets out of control on my live streams about politics, I'd just say stop politics at that time. I mean, it's not 100% taboo. There's some interesting things. I like, one of my good friends is Bobby. Bobby, he's got a YouTube channel, Bobby McNutt, and he's on a droning. He goes on the droning channels too, but he's a strong Trump supporter. I'm against Trump, but that doesn't mean he can't be my friend. We just can't talk about those things. But he's a hell of a nice guy, though. He's from Australia, Oh, I see. Sticky to Toby. Yeah, I'm from Australia, mate. And yeah, it's so expensive over here for cigarettes. What's that? More like $6 where you are. Wow. Yeah, it's $40 over here for a packet. Like I said, it's all on taxes. Yes. And what else? What else? What type in chat? What other interests you have? Because I've spoken about my interests quite a bit. Unless you want to ask me questions, go ahead. But if you've got something to say yourself, please do, and I'll see if I can base the chat around that. Especially what I've experienced, because I'm a stonemason. I've worked with. I've been a farmer. I've worked with sheep. My first job was dairy farming as a kid after school. I've worked on blocks, on fruit blocks, vines. I've done lots of jobs. My first work experience was in a florist, so I can cultivate tomatoes, flowers, cucumbers. I'm an absolute avid gardener. I've bought them off of eBay, and she planted them without me knowing, and they started developing fruit, and they were in the shape of a penis. And my pastor come to the door, and he says, "They look very interesting, don't they?" Which I found very humorous. It was so funny. And he never ever said anything, and nor did I. So I've had lots of various jobs. That's only... I was a firefighter. I managed chicken farming for poultry farms, egg farms. I used to do high pressure cleaning, vine vats, and high pressure cleaning chicken sheds, cleaning them in between chickens. Where when the chickens are out of the sheds, I'd clean their environment. I've been an avid golfer. I used to blow the record books on Tiger Woods golf on the computer and on the PlayStation. I used to have about 20-something hole-in-ones, which is absolutely blown his record. I mastered every course that he did. That's my name to that fame. I used to play I'm absolutely fantastic on Trivial Pursuit because I excel in history, because I have a history degree, and so basic knowledge I have. Any quiz shows I excel because anything I hear, I have this knack of storing information. So all the quiz shows that I watch, I'm fantastic at. I was always like that at high school. I'd be able to explain things back to the teacher of what I seen on TV, on whatever we were studying. And like for the first time, I was shown how to work a Chinese computer. And if for those who out there don't know, Chinese computers have a different character system, plus they have a different way of using their keyboard. It's a hybrid between characters as well as how they use it. And I was able to deliver a lecture of how the Chinese use their keyboard based on the research I had, which was a space of a half an hour. And I watched it once and once only, and I was able to give a delivery by memory at the front of the class of how a Chinese keyboard works. So that's hence why I can lecture, why I lectured as a firefighter. I'm a teacher, I'm a lay reader, and that's hence why I can do YouTube. So what else? I blow my own mind what I do, what I've achieved. I've worked behind bars, not in jails, talking about pubs and clubs. I'm a cook. Worked in many restaurants, bartender in many restaurants and pubs, like I said. What else? We used to have a bird sanctuary, so I'm very qualified in a lot of parrots and different birds of Australia. So I'm a bit of a bird watcher as well, because we used to breed our own parrots. We used to rescue our own parrots and other birds like hawks. I own 2 wedge-tailed eagles. If you look them up on Google, what they are, they're birds of prey here in Australia. One of our biggest birds of prey, wedge-tailed eagles. Look them up. They're a very large bird of prey. We own 2 personally that we could sit on our arm, and we could actually allow them to take meat from our hand and not attack us. In fact, one of our birds of prey flew up to our neighbour's house, which was about a half a k up the road, because he used to come and visit all the time and he knew him by sight. What he did was he flew and he seen where my neighbour went, and because he was going home, so all of a sudden the bird decided to sit on his front fence gate. And he came out from school one morning and there was my wedge-tailed eagle sitting on his gate. And he was like a dog, my wedge-tailed eagle. So he wanted to visit my mate, my best friend. And it's just uncanny. That's the sort of things. When I was a farmer, I had a menagerie of different animals. I had goats, I had donkeys, I had horses, I had ponies, I had cows, I had pigs, had cats, dogs, what else? Deer. And one day we were watching TV, my partner and I, and we could hear a bit of a knock at the door. And she said to me, her name's Karen, and she said to me, Trevi, because that's my name, Trevi, what's that out the door? Is someone out the door? And we left all our animals free roaming and sort themselves out, and they used to sort each other out. I've got some stories for you about how the animals used to sort themselves out. There they were. I don't know if you know the book where you've got the rooster, the donkey, I've forgotten what it's called now, and you got the rooster, donkey, sheep and all sorts, and they're standing on each other's head and trying to look in this person's house. I've forgotten what it's called now, I'll have to look it up. Well, anyway, there was this horse in the doorway of the screen door so you could see it. So you had the horse view there, you had the pony down below it, you had the donkey down below that, the sheep trying to look up, as well as the reindeer, our local deer, looking in our front door trying to watch TV. Well, and they were sitting there that quietly so we wouldn't see them, because they wanted to watch TV undetected. And it was a magic sight, because we used to have our animals living inside until it used to get a little bit crazy in there. We used to have the sheep. We used to have lollies on our coffee table, which were, I don't know if you know, they were called redskin lollies. They were a nice toffee sort of raspberry type of lolly. Well, our pet sheep loved them. So he used to race inside through this, because it knew how to open the screen door. Used to quickly run inside before it got told off, because it knew it wasn't allowed to be inside. So he'd go through the back door, come in, run in, then we'd frighten it because we've told it off, and it'd piss on the coffee table, so we'd have to clean that up. It took a mouthful of redskin candy and took a big mouthful and quickly bolted out the front door so we wouldn't give it a kick up the bum. And so you can imagine how the antics our animals used to give us. So we had quite a farm, we did. It was so funny. And you don't have to be there to imagine how funny that was. And then there was this other day where our ram used to be sex-starved. And my Karen, my fiancée, she was only a tiny woman, and she used to go in the mornings. We used to take turns of feeding the animals. So whether it was my turn, whether I had to work late, I'd do them in the morning. If she had to go in late, she'd do them in the morning. Anyway, she was over this bale getting some hay, and all of a sudden the ram had tackled her and trying to hump her. And she couldn't get out from under the ram. And all I could hear was this emotion from the house. Her screaming, Trevi, Trevi. Dommy, because Dommy was the name of the ram, because it was a black ram. I know it's a bit of a racist name, but that's not politically correct. But that's what she named it, not me. And its name was Dommy. And it was had her over the bale trying to hump her, and all I could hear her saying is, Dommy, Dommy, you're not meant to root, mummy. And oh my God, I'm standing at the gate just laughing my guts out, and there I am, because she wasn't getting hurt, but she couldn't get out from under him. And so I had to then tell Dommy, you're a naughty boy, and he'd race off. But oh my God, he wouldn't leave her alone, because she was a female, you see. And even though she's even though she was human, he could tell she was a female. But once I told her off, he'd run off. Oh, it was a crazy sight. And then there was this other story where he used to take this huge big run up and try to butt the horse out in the middle of the paddock. Well, every time, because Dommy and the horse were friends most of the time, but every now and then, Dommy tried to be, how they tried to be the dominant one and be the king of the harem? Well, anyway, when it's Randy season, he used to go in and try to butt the horse from behind. Anyway, the horse would then lift its leg and kick it, and I mean kick it, fair in the nose. And after about 20 times at doing that, after talk about dumb and not learning, it would end up having this bloody nose, pissing out with blood. And if the horse wanted to be serious, it could have killed that sheep. But because they were mates, he'd only give him a bit of a kick to tell him off. But because that bit of a kick used to bloody up his nose, and then all of a sudden he'd come over moping to us to try and get a bit of sympathy, and saying that Rosie, the horse, was hurting him. Oh, crazy. Yeah, Rosie the horse, she was, because I'm no longer on the farm, have no longer the animals, we're no longer together, but, oh, man, gorgeous horse. I love my animals. Absolutely do. We still got anyone in the live chat? We got thumbs up from Joseph Steele. Yeah, so when I get myself organised and structured, this is only just a live chat just to get people to meet me. It was basically as a test. But I've been talking now here for 1 hour and 40 minutes, believe it or not. Just chilling out, talking about all sorts of things, trying to get a bit of confidence, because I really got, my confidence really got shot after having the stroke, because I was an absolute mess. I couldn't talk properly. After I dragged my face off the ground, I was able to recover, and I've had 2 bouts of Bell palsy. I was in a coma for 6 months. I was in ICU, which is intensive unit, for 18 months. I then further recovered, learning how to walk and recover from my paralysation from the neck down in rehab. So that was quite a struggle. I had several bouts of blood transfusions and kidney dialysis throughout that process. And so all I could talk about was writing a book about my journey. But I think my book will be electronic here on YouTube. So that will be part of my live streaming at a later date, and talk to people about their experiences, and just hang out and chat about things, because I think it's very important to have a chat and just talk about anything and just get things off your chest. And whether we have a bit of a cry together, that which I'm all for, and I think that'd be quite a good format. And I welcome all the trolls. I'm ready for them, because I'll just laugh at the trolls. Poor Cav7, he's had so many troll problems. I really feel for him. I hope I don't get them, but if I do, I'm going to try to tackle it differently. As put it this way, it's nothing that I haven't seen. It's pretty much like like Ben's journey. But he still gets his fair of trolls. So hopefully I don't get them, but I'm sure I will. And we'll see what happens when that time comes. It says there, I've viewed my email, Joseph, email Cosmo. You can write it down and then you can hang out chats. I'll be definitely pop on with you. Okay, so I'll write that down and then I'll let you, because I've got pens here, and I'll find something to quickly write on. I'm not going to use my art paper, but I can use my tracing paper. I've got books and everything, but I don't want to get up. And I'll just get you jot down. Your email is, gee, that's my dyslexia. I just put S instead of J. Right. Jos, yep. I do know how to spell it, but I'm just not thinking. Right, Joseph. So, how's the, so Jose, Jose, PHERICKSON. I don't want to write it wrong. 23 at Gmail, and it's .com. I see your .com. SO, what does SO stand for? Because we just have gmail.com over here. So I'll just spell it, make sure I spell it right, because with my brain how it is, I get a bit of dyslexia from my stroke. So I wanted to make sure I jot down that email address. JOS, I'm using my calligraphy pen, which I should be doing. JOSI, because I do artwork with my calligraphy pen, if you can hear me, because I know you can see the ceiling at the moment. JOSEPHER. I see Rickson, yep, 23. Got that, very good. You can delete that now, I don't want any trolls to get to you. And then I'll get back to chat. get back to this view. Sorry, guys. Like I said, I'm not very organised today. I usually set the my tablet, because I don't have a tablet cover anymore. I ended up selling it with one of the 8-inch tablets that I had before, because I had an 8-inch tablet for my drone, but it was not big enough in the capacity, and it was dropping out all the time. It was bogged down. It didn't have enough RAM, and so I ended up selling that for a bit of profit. So I ended up buying a better tablet. So now I can use my drone with it, and it's got plenty of room. And so I ended up selling my tablet cover with that one, so I could entice the sale, as I wanted the dollars for it, so I could actually buy this tablet. As I ended up getting a better tablet cheaper than the tablet that I sold, and still got profit, which was a bonus, because I do a lot of flipping on eBay and a lot of flipping locally, and my motto is that anything I flip is got to be good, because I don't want any bad comebacks. So, yep, still here. Yeah. Oh, well done, guys. Yeah. So, I used to have a eBay channel for selling goods and buying goods. I used to do that a lot, and I even created my own website, my own domain for selling that. And that was when it was very hard to build your own website. And I didn't know how to do it before that. I just spent days and days and days finding information how to build your own website, and I was able to then present that. And a lot of all that has gone the wayside once I got sick, because I was in hospital for such a long time. All my assets were sold up by my family, and yeah, so that's another story. I was basically homeless when I was in hospital, so hence I'm living in a unit now, which has just got a bedroom and a lounge room and a kitchen and a wet area for laundry and toilet, and that's all. So it's very basic. It's like being in a hospital unit, but it caters my needs. I like it. It's easy to keep clean. It's just white, very plain. I've had to put a colourful sheet on the back wall and that, but otherwise wherever else you see, it's very clinical. So I've made a bit of a fake studio here. So yeah, so that's where my art gear is. My leather making gear is down there. My big flat screen TV's there, where I've just got an image there, no sound. And yeah, so that's my little unit. It's only one room I use mostly. I sleep a lot just in this recliner chair that I'm sitting in. I want to get a chair, a computer chair, a gaming chair I want to get, but I'm not sure what gaming chair to get, because there's some gaming chairs out there that's they massage and they massage and vibrate, as well as they've got heating, and I don't know if they're any good. I'm sort of a bit risky. I'd sooner probably get a chair that I'm comfortable and that's it, because if it's got all the bells and whistles, some of those things might go on you, just for the sake of the quality of the chair. I don't want to go silly with it. Whoops, I slipped again, sorry. Oh, that's life. Yeah, I don't even vape or anything anymore. I didn't ever vape, but I do know some of my friends that vape. But I never ever got back into any bad habits. Once I quit everything on my 40th birthday, that was it. New life, new everything. Yes. Is there anything else you want to know or ask questions? Um, my favourite colour is orange, even though I've got green headset, and I'll probably go to having a green gaming chair so it matches my headset. But as you can see, orange is my favourite colour in the back, so I reckon green goes well with orange. So I think if I get a green gaming chair, it'll go really well with my headphones and with the orange background. So I'll do that because I like things particular, because I can. Yeah, I'll sort out the live stream tonight sometime. I'll mess around with the volume on my computer and suss that out. And who else we got here? Oh, we got Finn. Just yell out, Finn, if I'm correct. You're the young droner. Is that correct? Just put thumbs up if I'm correct. Are you the young lad that was on the live stream on Rogers on the Canadian? Oh, very good. I wanted to make sure I put the right face to the right channel because I haven't had the opportunity to get to your channel. And believe me, I am a keen supporter like you are. I found out by your friend, your sister's boyfriend, I believe, and he spoke very highly of you, how keen you are as a supporter. Well, I am too. I try to get as to many channels as I can. If I can't leave a comment, I put thumbs up. I live stream on 4 devices. So my favourites I put on my flat screen TV, which is a 65 inch. So if you haven't seen Jagger Scott, he is my go-to channel when I'm down. He has such fantastic footage. So look him up if you haven't seen him. He needs to go viral. His quality of work is so A1. If we can't get him viral by the end of the year, there is something wrong. So I make sure I do tricks of the trade. I get people's watch time up by using 4 devices. I try to check out as many channels at the same time as I can when I've got time. So I believe that you're about the same, aren't you? There's a lot that I haven't been able to get to as well because I've only been on this YouTube thingy-bob, just over 3 months, probably 4 months now, and there's 3 months around about January. 4 months around about January, and I got my 700 supporters. And for that short time, I found out there's some people been out there for about 4 years and still on 200 and something. So I'm pretty proud to be able to get that with very little content. I've only just rushed a heap of content. I've got about 18 videos now in 4 days, and now I've gone from a D rating to a C rating on the analytics. And my goal is to get to B class at least by 12 months' time, by January. I hope to hit 1,000 subscribers within a month's time, and I hope you seem to be keen, and I hope you can achieve and set the same goals, because it's very unique to be a drone flyer at your age. So I would market that, and I recommend anyone. You'll go FSV in the front of your name. It's entirely up to you, but there's so many SFVs out there, it's not funny. So if you want to, because you're young and you're new, it's not too late to change your name if you want to, because I give a lot of advice when it comes to, because I know how to grow a channel. I'm witness to it. You're a witness to it, I should say. Is you can always change your name to something short or something easy to remember. I'll give you 2 examples. My name is Manic Magic. That basically sums up who I am. It's a catchy name. because I'm manic, and what I achieve in life is magic, because I have so much to offer to so many people. Plus I have an art background and format. Plus I got into droning. So hence my other channel is I Love My Blow Up Drone. That's to do with droning. And the reason that's a long name, but it's easy to remember, is I recommend that because I've got a lot of train people out there that are friends of mine, and they build their name or platform on really hard names to get to grow as a successful YouTuber. Like they put gauge numbers and station numbers or train series numbers at the beginning of their names. Well, they're hard to look up in the analytics side of it. So if you can change your name, if not, stick with it, see how you go. Your content and just you being young can be enough. That's some advice I could give you. If you've got any questions about anything to do with YouTube, I've been learning still, but a lot of things that I've been achieving and doing, I've been doing already without sourcing the information. I hope it's just luck. Maybe it might be my marketing brain out there. I don't know. It could be just a gift from God. And but yeah, there's a lot of tricks of the trade. The reason how I've got my channel to grow is I don't do anything illegal about it. That's why I keep all my supporters. When they had the purge, I never lost one. In fact, I gained supporters because all my supporters were legit. They were not sub for sub. It was basically due to picking up conversation, learning that each other is a good person, because I just wouldn't sub to anyone that was a bad person. I'd make sure that their channel was a good person's channel. Nothing like, not that I'm against devil worshippers or people that have bad content in relation to vulgar or disgusting. I just don't go to those channels. Not that I can't love them people. I can still love them, but I don't have to watch their content. And that's my choice, and that's how I look at life. I've got so many people that I could love and hug, but it doesn't mean I have to hang out with them. And that's how I look at life. I wasn't talking about your channel, Colt, 49ers. That's okay. That looks unique because you can build. You can still build your channel off your logo, because you must have a logo or use your name as your logo, and you promote it in every live stream or every video, and you can still build off that. That's fine. It's catchy, it's easy to know. Well, basically you can tell it's a tobacco product channel, so that's okay. But there's so many channels out there, you just won't. I have the understanding that you shouldn't really use your name for two reasons. I used to use my first name as my channel name when I first went on the Canadian Drone Hub, and I ended up changing it the very next day. And then I ended up telling Val and Roger it's actually such and such. It's now Manic Magic. The reason is I wanted a catchy name, and I didn't want trolls to start getting into my personal life, because they have ways of doing it. So yes, there's a lot of ways. There's a lot of things you can do. What's this? All pre-die Pi subs are 85 odd 100 bots. So again, all PewDiePie subs are 85 out of 100 are bots. PewDiePie. Yes, she lost a huge amount of subs. They actually taxed her, not only the supporters or the bots, they actually took some of her watch time away. So she won't be able to. I think they took watch days, so therefore she won't be making any money this year. But she was making millions of dollars. All fake accounts. 85% of them, I think, were fake, weren't they? 85 out of 100 were bots. Yeah, that's true. I heard about that. And it's funny how many people have heard about her, or him, or whoever it is, because I don't follow it. I choose not to. A friend of mine came there. He's into toys and stuff. He could do a YouTube channel just on doing toys. He's sort of got like Down syndrome, or he's got a disability, but it doesn't affect him. Autism, that's what he's got. But I don't treat it as autism. I treat him as a very special friend of mine. And he works to spend money on buying toys, like a lot of YouTubers. So I'm trying to get him into YouTubing. And anyway, his son wants to follow. He knew, this son, on the first conversation about YouTubing, he knew everything about PewDiePie. He knew about how... I was just blown away how much he knew, and we could actually have it. I finally found someone for me. It was crazy, but yeah, I don't get sub for sub. All I do is do a conversation, show that I'm a nice person, and if I like their channel, I sub to them. I shouldn't use that word. Support them, so their channel grows and my channel grows, and whether or not they use me as my content, they may at a later stage. I mean, not everyone can get around supporting everyone 100%. It's just impossible. So for YouTube to try to create a platform that everyone has to follow everyone and keep up with their content and put likes, they're just trying to make it so hard for us guys that it's impossible. And that's what they're trying to attempt, but we've got to be stronger than that. What's this? Oh, I thought that was your channel that it happened to. I was confused. No, I never lost any supporters. I'm a bit confused too. Who are we talking about? So yeah, Joseph, if you wanted a real catchy name, I'd go for a name that no one else has got. That's only my word of advice, because standard names for YouTube, if you want to become successful, is not the way to go, because once you become successful, you're going to be slammed with bots, slammed with trolls. It could even get to the stage where it could ruin your life. Because, I mean, look at Cav7. He's got a couple of thousand followers, right? And he's quite successful, but not in the big scheme of things. And he's starting to get real trouble with trolls, and it's just not nice. And I really feel for him, and I pray for him. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that are targeted out there on YouTube that become a bit successful. And I just wouldn't wish that on you, mate, because you're such a nice person. So if you ever think about changing your name, I recommend all my friends that have their real name to change it and make it unique. But that doesn't stop you from being on your channel for a while because what you do is you find out where you are. It's not too late. I do that within the realms of 1,000 supporters, of making up your mind where your channel's at. Once you work out where your channel at, that's why I made a new channel. It's because I wanted to separate my droning with my art. I didn't want my supporters to get confused, because they got a lot of my drone supporters got a hell of a shock when they've seen my first intro. I had comments saying, gee, that was a hell of a surprise, but what a pleasant one. It's I got no dislikes, they're all likes I got. I've been averaging 50 likes per video, and getting hundreds of views. And it's been a surprise for them, because I was this mystery man going on their streams and they're commenting on videos. And because what I do, because the other trick of the trade is you go to your best channels that you like, and then what you do is you scroll down to their supporters, and you see the supporters that have good support accounts themselves. And what you mean, and what that said, the sense I get is maybe they are a good person, and I'm willing then to make a comment that if I haven't already got them, I first subscribe to them first. I make the first move. I subscribe to them. I hit a like if I like their video. I then go into comments and say, I'm a first time subscriber and first time viewer of your content. Such and such sent me. The person that I got it off of is the person that I like. So I say, they sent me here, so I say it in their comments. Then all of a sudden they, oh, thanks, mate. And then all of a sudden they support you. Then all of a sudden you end up getting a follower that will actually follow you in real time, not just to be a sub, and they actually follow your content, and then you follow their content, vice versa. That's how you make real friends and grow your channel. You just don't get people and just say, I follow you, I follow you, I follow you. You do your research, and that's how you get substantial followers to make your, because that's why I've still got my 700 plus people out there. I haven't lost any. So that's a very, very precious word of advice. Are you going to change your name? It's entirely up to you, but I really recommend it. And if you see, and I help people out, like I help Drone Paul out on names of his drones, and he asked me how to. We had a bit of a competition live of pick names out for his yellow drone, and I come up with Yellow Mellow, and he actually picked the song for it and everything. So if you ever have an idea of if I'll check out your channels, and I can pick up really, because I have this really imagination here. I'm sure it's given by God. It's that I can give uncanny advice, because I can tell what a person's like. I can tell without judging, because I think that's how I can. It's because I never judge a person, because I have so many friends that are bikers, or in our country we call them bikers and bikies. My brother, one of my brothers is a bikie, and has tattoos up and down his arms and all the rest of it. And I've got Christian friends, I have nerdy friends, I have many people that have disabled, and I treat them like normal, which, as I should. When I say normal people that take, what I mean by that, people that take life for granted and don't know what it's like to wake up every day with a disability, which I will go to there one day on my live streams. We'll discuss that, because I've been there. I've been down that track, and I really know how they feel. To be in a permanent disability, and I don't want to get sidetracked on another subject, but I'll just briefly say, for a person when they're born like it or developed a disability that's all their life, that particularly obtains pain and not being able to do everyday things that people take for granted, where I've witnessed it over 2 years or more, and I'm the lucky one. Imagine them for the rest of their life being in a wheelchair, vegetated, and not be able to climb out of a wheelchair or their mind and just live like people do that lead regular, quotation marks, normal ways of life. So that's why us YouTubers need to be not so precious and not so, what's the word, shallow. Listen to people, take notice of people, be emotional to people, not just go there for sub, and actually listen to the person that they're tuning in their live stream. See, I listen into Green Day Wacky's live stream, and I can appreciate how bad he can sing, and I laugh every time, but I love it. I think it's entertaining. I think his bad singing is a plus, where I can go to Cav 7 and I can appreciate his singing to be a positive outlook on how well he can sing. Oh, I think it's just to get on another subject, he's starting up karaoke sort of nights with people that just do singing without music. And oh my God, there's people been singing that sung for the first time in public. And oh my God, I just bawled my eyes out. And oh, like Denny, man, can he sing? And then there's I just had a bit of a mental block, but some of the girls there, they were singing, and I'm a bit embarrassed not remembering their names because I follow them all the time, but I just can't think. Oh, but I mean, they sung some songs, and it just brought tears to my eyes. So that's just a different different thing to another feather in his cap. Man, he can sing. He's got comedy. He's got a spiritual channel. He lives all walks of life. He can wear the rainbow flag proud. He can wear his military flag proud, or whatever you call it. He's an artist. Man, I have nothing but praise for that guy. He's had many addictions. He still has health problems, and he tries not to share them with too many people. But he's a trooper. And Green Day Wacky, I wasn't quite 100% sure about him at the start, but I've grown to love him and grown to have an understanding for him. So he's another go-to channel. It's just that the reason why they're getting successful because they do have good content, and that's what I hope to achieve. And Perth observers there too. How you going? Pleased to meet you there. I'm just been chatting away and getting a little bit emotional there about different things because I'm an emotional person and just loving life. What does that say? Oh, it says, hey, mate. Okay, yep. Oh, I see. Yep. No worries. Yeah, excellent. That was spell check, was it? That'd be a bit embarrassing putting the wrong words in, eh? Yeah, hey, how you going? Yeah, just to let you know what my channel's about, if you haven't checked me out yet, because we're all growing, it takes time. Yeah, oops. Yeah, it takes time. I'm learning. I tried to do live streaming just a while ago as a test. I'm sniffling here, I really apologise. As a test on my computer, and the sound was out. And so I ended up to go to my tablet. But I'll just give you an idea of what I do. I do leather crafting, and they're all my own designs, and I craft leather. And this is just a sample. I do wallets, I do knife sheaths, I do purses, I do handbags, I do lots of different practical things. I do things as simple as car key rings, all sorts of things. I make Bible covers, I do diaries, I do journals, I do cookbook covers for your favourite cookbooks. I do magic spell books. I do witches covenant books. Anything, whatever you want, I make them, designed, and can teach you how to do it yourself, especially if you're overseas. And I can teach you the basics. Never ever get alarmed. I can't do that, you say to yourself, but with easy lessons, you can. I'm not sure what you're really into yet, but I do Bible covers, and I do, this one's just a bookmark of in the general church sense, religious sense. That's a cross, that's your prayer heads. I draw them all by hand myself. They're all my own designs. This is some of my favourite works. I do Celtic designs, and this is just a flat piece of leather, but this is only half done because then I've got to press this in a mould and make a dish shape out of it, and to make a pearl box purse or a pearl box bag designed for hobbits that a hobbit can wear on their belt, and they can put magic dust in there. And have I got you to believing that yet? But anyway, magic is my name and magic is my nature. And what you do is you press that into shape. That will stay its shape by wetting it and putting it in a press. And then once you've done the artwork, you've got to do the artwork while it's flat. Because what you do is that middle part of the Celtic design is where the dome shape gets pressed out into, similar to this knife holder. This pocket knife holder is pressed like a dome, and that's what you do. And you press it into a round dome shape, and then then once that's finished carved, and the insert of the design, you paint black with black liquid boot polish, and then you stain it, and then you seal it, and it'll turn into a purse. So they're all my own designs. I do all sorts. I do crown of thorns. I get ideas from tattoo books. Is my best go-to books. Tattoos, I've got good designs, and I get my inspiration from them. Did I end up showing my tree? No, that's for another day. Do you want to see my Bible cover? Where did I put that in the end? Oh, that's right. You want to have a look at this one? Make sure I got it the right way up. That was my first attempt at leather carving. That is the tree of life with the crown of thorns around it. It has the religious contents in it, meaning life and Jesus dying for us. And basically that's what represents us. And that's a piece of art that's carved in leather. I don't know if you can really capture the carving. What I do is I use, and I'll just bring it out. Away. Whoops, everything's going. These are the tools, and these are only half. I've got about 500 of these. So these are like little chisels, and you use a hammer, and you belt your way with the hammer. Where is it? There it is. That's a close-up of it. See how it's got like a little design? And they belt the hell out of the leather by tapping it. Now, I couldn't do it for a couple of years because of my heart. The tapping of it used to affect my heart, and it used to give me a heart attack. So I had to give up my leather work, mind you, because of my heart. And do you think I was devastated? Yes, I was. Because I live for my art, and I use practical little items. This is an item that I invented. These are puzzle purses. These done in a puzzle where you can open them up and they put change in there. And I'm holding my tablet with one hand at the moment, so I can't open it up. But you apply a press stud there, and it's all it is folded onto itself and studded with some studs at the back. And you can actually design these with patterns on them as well, but these are made from kangaroo hide that's already been sealed by a natural seal, so you can't stamp that leather. This is called vegetable leather like this to do stamping. So, and I'll show you one of my Bible covers. I think it's down here, yeah. Better put it. I got some purses here. These are just little cheap purses that I make. I make with studs. So yeah, they're made from leather. I do. If there's anything that can be made by leather, I can make it, and I can do my own artwork on it. Oh, here's my Bible cover. This is only just one of them. I designed, these aren't finished, but hence that's why it's a bit sketchy at the moment. I've got to seal it and tan it still with polish, and then seal it with a varnish, so it protects it. But that's an illustration of a grapevine, and see the box, how the grapevine's forced within the box, and it's restrained, and it's how a vine is formed, how you twist a vine around when it's in a vineyard, and how it's controlled. And what that represents in a religious term is how we go through our trials and tribulations in life, and how we've tried to be formed and go a certain way. And basically you've got to follow the task and follow the road to the right road, and that's basically fill your life with love, and then you can actually flourish with fruit. And that it's basically wisdom. You need to live your life to be able to learn. You've got to grow, and that's what that's all about. And once you've grown, that's why a lot of old people can be so wise, and their fruit is really not ready to pick until they become older. And when I say their fruit to be picked, it means passing it on to people who listen. If you have something to offer that's worth listening to, go to the nursing homes and ask for their stories. The things they've gone through over the years, like especially people that are veterans in war and that, man, some of the stories they got to offer. And so many people are in nursing homes and their stories are not witnessed. And that's what I plan to do, is go to my local nursing home and go to every resident and ask them to give a story. And what I'll do is once a week, I'll have a live stream and I'll deliver that story, the best parts of that little story, and deliver it over a live stream or make a video, because some of these stories are worth listening to. So what do you think of that, guys? Going to bed, are you? No worries, Joseph. Thank you. Who we got? We've still got 5 people here. We're getting lots of likes for only just a test. What's that? Is that bullets? What's bullets? No, I don't know what you mean by bullets. What do you mean by bullets, Colt 49? Oh, how you going, guys? Good to see that you're getting to know each other. I've seen most of you use lots of time on live streams. If you're new and you come in, just subscribe and I'll get back to you, because I'll get notifications. At the moment, it's just far too much for me to do. And I will get back to you and check out your channel and subscribe. Maybe hit a like, leave a comment, and ring that bell. And that's all you can really do for me. What's that? Where are those bullets that you were showing? What bullets are they? Did I have bullets? Here bullets, here bullets, here bullets. Don't get me crazy. Bullets? Where's those bullets? Ring my memory. I had bullets. Well, I can... You're talking about my chisels? Like these chisels? Pellets? No. These are chisels for beating leather in a design. Pallets. Pallets? Hello. Just looking. How you going? Just looking. Pallets. I mean, I've got studs and stuff for doing leather work. Yeah, that's it. Thumbs up if you mean the chisels. And these things are chisels to put holes in leather, and then you can sew it or you can thread it with leather, because I have very thin cord leather, and then what I do is seal it after I've and when I seal it with a varnish, and what that does is protect the leather from wet surfaces, and it will last a lot longer in its life. Like, for example, where's that pocket knife cover that I just had? I've got things everywhere now. I had everything so organised before. See the pocket knife cover? I've had this in the Murray River, which is a local river that I'm in Australia, and I've had to go in and dive in and fetch for that. While it had its pocket knife in there, I did not want to lose my pocket knife. This I could replace. Pocket knife I could not replace, so I had to go in the river and get it. And it's dried out and everything. I've still got to then put some dubbin in it to soften it and then reseal it. I will revitalise that on the show, on my channel, to show you a tutorial how to revitalise leather and how to seal leather, and basically, yes, bring it back to life. I can teach you how to tan leather and how they used to tan leather and what you can do. You can tan leather from just getting up in the morning and going to the toilet. Do you want to hear more? You can tan hair leather with urine. The trick is you use your own urine and bottle it and wear gloves so you don't pass on any germs. And then make sure you wash and sterilize everything afterwards. Because when you first go to the toilet, it is not toxic. In fact, you can drink it. It's only when it starts getting bacteria and going to life within air for environment, it becomes it deteriorates and breaks down, and that's why it smells later after you've used it. But cancer patients drink urine because it flushes out toxins in their system. The olden days, they used to tan leather with urine, which I can teach you in a tutorial to make your own leather products. Oh, thanks, bro. I can't wait to get to one of your live streams. I mean, I'm all out for supporting each other, because if you love what I've got to say, well, I'm sure that I'm halfway there. We got something in common if you love what I'm saying, and that's how I look in life. They look like darts. Yeah. I used to make my own bow and arrows. I actually used to make guns, bow and arrows, my own darts. Man, I'm really, really sorry. I feel like I'm a know-it-all, but I just can't help it because I've tried lots of things out. Some things I excel in, and then others I don't. But that's okay. It doesn't matter. What's so important is whether you have fun and whether you experience it. And sometimes your biggest mistakes and failures often bring out success. And I believe every true person that speaks the truth can believe that. I'll give you examples. Say the richest people in the world, they failed college. Steve Jobs failed college. The other guy that invented Microsoft, he failed college. You can fail college and still be successful. What's that? I'm not going to drink urine. No, you don't have to drink urine. I'll give you an example. A famous, I don't know if you're aware, we have Aussie rules here in Australia. Look it up on YouTube or look it up on Google if you haven't. It is a tough sport. You don't have any padding, and you go at each other flat out, and you hit each other hard, right? This guy that we imported, I should say, from Ireland, because they have a similar sport over there. So we bring in players from overseas, and he hasn't played the sport at all, but he had the stature which was tall, and he was skinny, but they ended up muscling him up. He became so successful, in his first year he became captain of the rival football team, or the new football team I should say. He was so loved because he broke records on goal kicking and performance. He won 3 Best and Fairest medals, and he became their captain for a longest stint. He ended up developing cancer. He would then drink his urine with ice to make it palatable. The poor man had to get up every morning to do that. Another thing he used to do, he had his wife was telling a funny story. They had freshly tiled out their new bathroom because they just went into a new home, and they were just tiled out their new bathroom, and he was sitting on the floor naked. And what he was doing was going through the process to help his cancer treatment. He was using a coffee enema. What that involves is a bottle of coffee at a high position on a shelf with a hose shoved up his backside. What that would do was siphon in the coffee. The raw coffee would then aid to flushing out toxins out of his system through the anus. He also would do the drinking of the urine to flush the system out of his stomach and his anus, because with the medicine, it's not the cancer, it's the medicine you go through. Chemo, there's methods of trying to, because what chemo does is basically poison the bad cancer cells, and what it does is hurts the rest of the cells. I go through cancer treatment to test my cancer. I go through every so often, they test whether or not my proteins are high to see if I'm developing cancer, because I've got a high risk of cancer because of my kidneys, and I'm high risk of developing blood cancer. And evidently there's a protein that was coming up in my system which was showing signs of that. And so I don't feel sorry for myself, but what it does is it makes me think of the people that can't turn back. They end up passing away, or their families live the loss of their passing. So I feel for them and their children. That's what I get emotional about. But that's why I do art, and that's why I help people, is it keeps me off my mind on how hard life can treat you. Because first 6 months of my life, I'm really, really sorry. Sorry, God. First 6 months of my life, I was lucky to be alive. My brother broke a window after me experiencing a house fire in my bedroom. I was in my parents' bedroom, and their bedroom caught on fire. How, we don't know. Where it was never explained to me. All I know was I was a success in of surviving, and he broke the window and saved me. And I lost my biological father at the age of 4, and another brother of mine at the age of 4 in the same year. So our family bore a loss when I was 4. My mother raised over 20 children, and so my life has been an incredible journey. And every trial and tribulation I've been through, I take the positives from. And I think that's why I've had a very interesting life. I've tried out many, many things, and I've met many, many different friends on the way. Some people that have come and gone in my life, not because I'm no longer friends of theirs, it's because they've led interesting lives too. Like there was one time when I was concreting, when I used to be a builder, and I was concreting this person's old house out that used to have floorboards. And this guy I was doing it on the cheap for him, because I used to do that. And he ended up hiring a work hand for me so he could help me. So I was doing the trade, but he had a person that was actually doing some fencing, contract fencing. And it was very, very interesting listening to his story. He was from Brazil or somewhere like that, and so he had a Brazilian name, and he was heavily into horses, and I found out he was a minister, but he had some great losses when it come to a family. His family died in a house fire. So he just roamed the world, just finding himself. So he used to go from town to town and pick up little jobs from place to place. Well, anyway, he ended up out of the blue and started working for this guy as a fence contractor, and he would pick up work and learn how to do it along the way, and then further his job prospects as he'd pick up tasks and ideas and learn from it, and then eventually be able to do work himself. Anyway, so he was doing some labouring for me, and he had a very interesting, and he used to do leather work, and he's the one who actually presented leather work to me, and that's where I got the inspiration. Anyway, he disappeared, never seen again. Where he got to, we don't know. We never do know. Well, anyway, this is the uncanny part about it. I was at a wedding a couple of years later, and because I was so impressed with this guy, I spoke to one of my relatives. My relative lived about 2 hours away, and I found out, because he was a builder as well, a bricklayer. His name was mentioned. All of a sudden he says, guess what? I had him as a labourer 5 years ago. He worked for him for about 5 weeks and then disappeared, never seen him again. And he just moved from town to town. And I've never, it's the first time I ever knew him and the last time. But there's people out there that have got lost souls, but they still are able to attribute something to people's lives, whether it's practical or whether it's spiritual, or it's just the opportunity to meet a special person. And I think that's why, with all these experiences, I think that's how I've got through some of the trials and tribulations with my health. Because coming out of a coma is a very, very scary but I think I'm blessed by doing so. Like I said, if I can offer, and that's why I've come to YouTube, to be able to offer help, support one another, and just live life the best I can, because it's been nothing but a good experience for my 4 months I've been here. And I've met so many lovely people. Like, there's a man that's in Queensland, which is the northern part of our country that I live in Australia. Sorry, guys. His name's Chopper. And he's met so many nice people on YouTube, and he's been having his channel for about 10 years. And he makes things for charities. He makes these little choppers. You know what a chopper is? It's like a 3-wheeled motorbike. They're like trikes, sorry, not choppers, trikes. And he makes cat trikes. So he puts his little cat in there with goggles, and he makes these little miniature trikes. And he will sell them for charities. And it's so funny. He's got a really good channel. We've got Ice Spike, that's in Australia as well, and he has a trike and he's a lot of fun. I've met so many great people. Ken Heron is a professional. He's entertaining. I love him to bits. He's coming to Australia this year, so I look forward to that. So there's a few shout outs I've got. Roger from the Canadian Drone Hub, Magic Person, Kim is a top guy, Val, that shake of the head's not, I know, that's, she's great. They've been good supporters. I've got to stop this crying, man. I'm getting worse than Cab 7 here. But it means a lot to me. Yeah, so I'll get back to chat, shall I? Yeah, it's been interesting talking to you, all you guys. I've had so many people come in this live stream. It's not funny, and I've had people here now for nearly 3 hours right from the start. And oh, we got what have we got? We've got Real DJ Fruit Loops. How you going, mate? It's only my first live stream, so I'm really sorry if I'm getting off track, because there's nothing laid out or planned here. We're just chatting along. It was supposed to be a test. Well, it's been a long test anyway. It's probably tested. I tried to use my computer and the sound wasn't working. So I'll look at that at a later date, but then I jumped in on my tablet and I managed to work that. So I can do a live stream on my tablet. So I'll get through that. I tried to jump on another shout out for someone. Hillbilly Pyro. He has a gaming channel. He has a drone channel. Oh, excuse me. And he has a pyrotechnic channel, which involves fireworks, and he gives firework giveaways and stuff like that. And his channel is a blast. I love it. And but we can't do it in Australia because they ban fireworks. Too many grass fires. And you've got to get council permission if you want to do it in the winter time. And but I'd love to set up fireworks. But like I said, we can't do it. We've got a few different people here. If you like to subscribe, please do so, and I'll get back to you, because I'm a big supporter of a lot of channels, and I think I've supported nearly 90% of the people I subscribe to. So you can take that as being a very avid supporter of lots of people, and a lot of people that can vouch for that. And I mean, big channels can vouch for that because they've seen me. They've seen my interaction on live streams and how frequent I get back and go back, and how many other people recognise me on their live streams. So therefore I get around. I hardly sleep. I went for 48 hours, had 3 hours sleep, and went 48 hours again. And then all of a sudden I crashed for 2 days. And I just slept and slept and slept, because I was trying to go on live streams. I was getting supporters, and I was trying to do videos. And so I ended up sleeping for a long time. And yeah, I'm just enjoying that's why my name's Manic, because I don't do things by halves. When I do my paintings, it can take me up to 3 days. One time I had a stint without any sleep for 3 days doing a piece of artwork. If you bear with me, because this is a very crude live stream, I'll show you a piece of my artwork that took me quite a long time. I'm just going to lay you down and let you see the ceiling for 5 seconds. Can you see that? That's a technique of acrylic painting that I do that no one else has I've seen on YouTube or anywhere else. It's a way how I do it. Even on an art channel that is big in Australia here and it's worldwide, even the professionals don't do it the way I do it. I use two different mediums and combine them to make it 3D looking. And that's just an example of a form of artwork that I've developed. It's my own invention, and it's to use cheap acrylic paints. You can use the acrylic paints that you get from your local hardware store and get cheap paint brushes, and all you do is get gesso, which is a medium that builds up texture, as well as it's to seal the background of your work, and you can use it with paint pigment in it. And I'll be doing tutorials on it, showing you how to do impressive pieces of artwork like this. See how real those bushes look, and how 3D, how they jump out at you. And do you see how the rays of the sun goes over the mountains? Isn't that fantastic? And I'm pretty judgmental of my own artwork, but even I was impressed in forming that technique. And see how the boulders, because we get those boulders with those colours here in Australia, and this painting's nearly close to true to life in the photographic form. And we can get rocks like that close by to where I live, up in the hills. Yeah, so that's sort of some of the artwork I do. So, do I get thumbs up for that? Oh, you're leaving? All the best? Oh, no worries. Going. Down to 3 people again. That's okay. This is only a test. Who else is here? Put thumbs up for whoever else is here. And if you're lucky enough, if I've got thumbs up from Colt 49, I will send you a gift. A leather pouch to put your tobacco in. How would that sound? Would you like a leather pouch to put tobacco in? You can always give it to a friend. One like, where are they? Would you like a brown one or a purple one? These are used for coin purses, tobacco purses, used for putting medication in, used to put drone lens covers in, for camera lenses, that is. They're used for anything you put your medication in, for your diabetes injections, for anything you like. I make them in the pattern of fob watch pattern as well, that you can put watches in. They're not only square, I do round ones as well, and all sorts of things. You'd like the brown one? We can sort that out. No worries. The shipping is only the cost on them that I'm willing to bear. That's not a problem, because they cost next to nothing to make, but it's appreciation and the warm heart I have to offer you one. And anything I've got like that, I can't afford really at the moment, because I'm so many things I've got to purchase for this YouTube channel. I'm not in the position, but I have so much leather and stuff here that I can make stuff or have things made already that I can give away, and so therefore it's only the shipping cost. So what I'll do is, if you leave a comment at the moment in one of my comments here on this page or one of my videos, and leave an email address, not your personal address, and then what we'll do is exchange emails, and we can get your address through that way. If you email, I'll email you. In fact, I could probably put my email address on here. See, I've got two channels, so bear with me. I'll put my email address, that might be easier, and you can contact me and I can then send it to you. Right, I'll type it in for you. And I'm typing it in on my other channel. On my I Love My Blow Up Drone channel. King Pizza 08 at Gmail. At gmail.com. I'll just see if that's correct, because after my stroke I've got to check every letter. King Pizza 08 at gmail.com. Yep, that's my email. If you can take that, let me know when you've got the email address. And then put thumbs up if you've got the email address, and then I will one sec, then I will delete it. And that's for my Manic Magic channel. My other channel's got a different email address. Right, did it see it? Oh, what's that? Don't see it. It's in chat under I Love My Blow Up Drone. Can you see I Love My Blow Up Drone with the email address? See, I don't know how to do blue wrenches and whatnot at the moment. It's just above your comment from I Love My Blow Up Drone. What can I do? Well, can you, if I was to spell it out to you, can you just write it down? It's King, like the King of England. Pizza, like the pizza you eat. 08 at gmail.com. Did you get that? Type it in if you got it. You can't see it either. Wonder why that is. Because my blow up drone is in the same chat as you guys. I've got a lot to learn, haven't I? But that's okay. This is what we're here for, guys. That's why it's a test. Whoops. How's that? Sorry. Can't see it either. This is bizarre. Two watching, yep. Let's see if I can do it on this computer. But did you write down the email address? Because I'll delete the one that I've got. I'll remove it. It's kingpizza08@gmail.com. And then you can leave a message of where your address is and I'll send it to you. Because you've actually been on for 3 hours on my first live stream. So that's my first giveaway. It was spontaneous. So that was a thumbs up that you got it, is it? That you understood what I said. Wow, it's 7:45 here in Australia where I am. And I've been streaming for 3 hours and 2 minutes and 34 seconds. I've had lots of interesting topics and tried to get back to the topic that was presented originally, is what my channel's about. We've discussed leatherworking, we've discussed spiritual things and disabled people and where I can relate to that, being disabled to myself, but in various cases, but recovering. We've studied a bit on art. We've studied about other people's live streams and videos. We've even looked at how to make a channel grow as fast as mine is growing. Over 700 subscribers in 3.5 months, and how I get them legally without having bots. And I never lost any subscribers. In fact, I gained just through word of mouth to check out this guy's channel, and it's been growing every day. I get the average of 30 subscribers in a day. My highest has been 85. It's my record. Okay. Yeah, we've discussed lots of things. We talked about people coping with cancer. Talked a lot about my life, about the work that I've done, and I've talked about lots of other people's things that they do and try to relate to them and be able to chat with them about things they want to talk about, and made some real permanent friends, and we're exchanging hangouts, which will be quite exciting. Yes, I even exchanged phone numbers with other people today, so we can actually talk in real time. So no further ado, I might end this live stream, but I'm not quite sure how to. Has anyone here live streamed before and tell me how to do it? Or do I just have to try work it out myself? I don't know if I've got any dislikes. What does the chat say? Well, I've got no thumbs down. So I've got no trolls yet. Not that I'm asking the trolls to come in, but if the trolls come in, I can give them love. Because I cry anyway, so what's a little bit of tears for trolls? Now I want to end this live stream, so I don't know how. You no idea for you just looking? Nah, neither. Me neither. Not on the tablet. It's my first time. Oh, I just had to press the cross up top. It says, "Are you sure that you want to stop streaming?" So, without further ado, please hit like, subscribe if you already haven't done so, leave a comment, and ring that bell. So, Manic Magic is out. He's leaving the building, like Elvis said. 3:13 a.m. here. Wow. Because it's 7:48 in the evening here. So it's probably time for you to go to bed, Colt 49. Yeah. So, hey, okay, take care, Magic. Yeah, no worries. I will. You can call me Manic or you can call me Magic. It's all good. I'll answer to both. In fact, if this YouTube works out, I'll probably change my name to Depot by law to Manic Magic. I don't think I'll do it on my 1,000 subscribers, but I'm sure if I hit my 5,000 I might. Happy trails, yeah.